I'm John Feitelberg, and this is the One Thing I Learned. It is the holiday season, so I will tell you a tale of when I got arrested during the holiday season. I was a junior in high school. I had transferred in the year before. It was a boarding school, so when the holiday hits, everyone goes home across the country and the world. So I'd gone to visit a buddy of mine out in Western Mass, out in Feitelberg, and meet a couple of his hometown buddies and things like that. As you do during the holiday season, we had a couple of beverages, got to know each other, and as 16-year-old horny little boys do, you have a couple of beers. The greatest thing in the world would be to go to a strip club. We decided to hit Mac 2's over in Billerica. But there were 6 of us. We took 2 cars. And when you have 6 people in a group and all of them are under the age to buy tobacco or vote or go into the military, you don't all want to use your fake ID at the same time. So one car went in with 3 people in it. And then the boarding school friends stayed in the car. The local kids got in no problem, but we were having fun, reminiscing in the car, shooting the breeze, having a few beers. We decided we're going to hang out in there for like an hour or so. Our British friend decides he's going to get out, head into the woods, take a squirt. Hey fellas, I'm going to get out here, go take a quick piss, yeah? And as that happens, a cop car turns the corner with the lights on. Had like the floodlight on. So we decide we are not Marines, leave a man behind. So we put the car in reverse, and we leave so they don't search our car. Because they had the light out, we don't want them to see a bunch of people just hanging out in a car in a strip club. The cop immediately becomes disinterested in whatever they were looking for. They decide that someone pulling out in front of them is very sketchy, and they're gonna follow us. So I guess while abandoning a friend, we actually really saved him. We served as quite a good distraction for the police. We're driving down the road, I forget what street, but it's full of gas stations and fast food places. And I'm telling my buddy, I'm like, dude, go in here, pull in here, pull in here. And he keeps going, no, that'll look fishy. No, that'll look fishy. Not a half mile later, the cop pulls us over anyway. And what I haven't told you yet is that the guy in the back seat, he has one arm. So when the cop is behind us, flashing lights, running tags and all that stuff, I'm telling him to kick the beers over to me, because he doesn't have an arm to hide the beers. So I'm saying, kick the beers over to me, and I will reach behind my seat, and I will shove the beer cans under the seat. So I am in shotgun, looking like this. I don't know what the cop is thinking, but I'm just rocking back and forth, trying my best to reach as many Bud Lights as I can to shove under the seat and hide them. Now, when a police officer sees you frantically reaching under the seat of a car, I think you're getting a gun. So immediately there's a rapping on the window with a mag light, one of those big ones that'll do fucking damage. And it's hands in the air, get your hands in the air. And I'm hands up. And she tells my driver to roll the window down. Roll the window down. She grabs me by the throat. She's like, what are you reaching for? What are you reaching for? And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not reaching for anything. She's like, I seen you reaching back there. What's back there? What's back there? I was 16 years old. The thought that she thought I was reaching for a gun had never even crossed my mind. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, lady. I'm not reaching for anything. And it was just a lot of getting lost in translation where I had no idea what she was talking about. And it hadn't crossed her mind that I was hiding something, not reaching for something. So there's a lot of yelling, but eventually things died down. And she tells me to get out of the car. She has me up against the hood. And she's like, is there anything in your pockets that's gonna stab me? I was like, no. She's like, no needles, no knives. I said, no ma'am, no needles, no knives. Pats me down. The first pocket she hits, I guess had my keys in it. And it pricked her. I mean, not no, it didn't go through the skin or anything like that, but she felt something sharp. So she grabbed me by the back, scruffed my neck. She's like, you said there's nothing sharp in there. I was like, they're car keys, lady. What do you want me to do? So then she gets the driver out, starts patting him down. She then looks in the back seat where we still have one-armed buddy sitting there quietly. I don't even know how he hasn't gotten into the fray yet. She's like, how many beers have you been drinking? It's like, fuck. Really thought I got those out of the line of sight. She sees those and immediately decides that we will be placed under arrest. Me and the driver are put in handcuffs. We're taken to the cop car. We were both very despondent, just like, fuck, this sucks. But then, luckily, we had a moment that really brightened our spirits. Our other buddy, the one-armed man, was being placed under arrest because she cuffed up the left hand, went to grab the right hand. Tell you what, when you think you're going to grab a human hand and you grab a doll hand, it'll freak you out. And she starts screaming, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? and silence falls. We were in the woods of Billerica. There wasn't much around, and silence falls. You can hear leaves creaking, and you just hear our buddy go, an arm, and we lost it. As nervous as we were beforehand, it probably looked like to people like we were fucking in the back of this cop car. We were laughing so hard. We were like, kicking the fucking back of it. Oh my God, what a beautiful, beautiful fucking moment that was. To this day, it might be the hardest I've ever laughed in my entire life. Eventually, he gets put in the cop car with us, and we're going down to the station. I think she was a rookie because she was hitting us with like SVU lines. She's like, I'm taking you 3 downtown. I'm like, are you though? We're in Billerica. Like, it's not that big a deal. And she goes, tell it to the judge. I was like, you're acting like you're in a cop movie rather than acting like a cop. But we get to the station. Eventually we put ourselves, and she goes back out onto the beat, as she would say, I'm sure. And the cops who were left there ended up being really nice. They liked us a lot. They let us have cell phones. But the mistake they made was they gave us all the wrong cell phones. So Tim is sitting in the cell with Eric's cell phone, and he's like, I'm gonna call Eric's girlfriend. And Eric's like, you better not, Tim. And he's like, oh, I'm calling her right now. I'm telling her everything we've done. And he pretends to start having the phone conversation. Where he's like, what's up, Samantha? Hey, how you doing? Yeah, no, me and Eric are just in jail right now. And he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, Tim. I swear to God, when I get out of here, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And then I had to be the voice of reason to be like, hey, Eric, we are in a prison cell right now, surrounded by police, being recorded. It might not be the best time to be making death threats. And the police came over and said, we completely agree with you on that. I don't remember what the conversation, how it happened. But I think around 7 a.m. we were let out, something along those lines. And the friends who we'd left at the strip club over at Mac 2's, they came and picked us up. But so we get out, and eventually, you get a court date. And we get to court, and we're sitting there looking like respectable members of society, right? Suits, ties, the whole shebang. The guy in front of us, the guy who gets his charges read to him, or whatever it is you call it, I don't know. I didn't go to law school. I dropped out of college. I was going to be pre-law, but I didn't do it. The guy in front of us was in a wife beater and ripped jeans. His charges were he had been selling crack cocaine and fired at police officers. He was taken to jail right away. No bail, I don't think. That's not a thing you can do. And then we were brought up, 3 children, in suits that didn't fit them. And the prosecution reads their charges, and the judge and the lawyer, our lawyer, who happened to be my uncle, both chuckled at it. Because, tell you what, when the person in front of you was selling crack cocaine and shot guns at police officers, 12 beers in the back seat of a car doesn't really seem too big a deal. Everyone chuckled. The judge said, they're free to go. So I guess the one thing I learned here is if you are going to get arrested for doing something that's, borderline illegal at best, underage drinking, what even is that? If you're going to do something like that, make sure the person who's arraigned in front of you, I found the word, it's arraigned. There it is, it just came to me. The person in front of you, the person who's arraigned in front of you, sold crack cocaine and shotguns at police officers. Everyone else will think what you did is a big joke. You walk out, scot-free, head over to class.
Listen, if you made it this far into the video,
Which is far, like no one ever does that on the internet.
like it's the end. You made it to the end of the video.
full fucking video
You
you
watched
did.
the whole thing. So if you liked it and you watched the whole thing, why don't you subscribe?
It means you like us.
Click the subscribe button, because if you don't, I'm gonna fucking murder John.
And I'm gonna like it.
Kill him with my bare fucking hands.
Yeah.
And if you weren't sold on this video, there's plenty more. Watch what's next up and then subscribe. But just subscribe so I don't have to fucking kill him.
Well, I don't know. Do what you want, but subscribe. Probably.